okay of saying yes, but not as strongly as British or English. I think that it's quite a large group of people, like Europeans. So like comparing myself to like a Belarusian or something like that, Belarusian. There, I don't really feel a huge connection with people like that, but I do identify that British culture is definitely European, so I do feel that. I do also think that a lot of like identity comes down to factually having that identity, which I definitely do, and then people treating you as though you have that identity, which I don't think people really do to British people. So that makes you feel less European, but I still do think, yeah. I always felt European from childhood because my family considers itself European. I factually am European. That's gone. I would say that in terms of like sort of maybe close to individual moments would be the first time I went to France, whatever, where you do sort of, and then also leaving Europe as well, because those two things you start seeing like, okay, so I went to France, that's like the comparison of British people versus French people. I went to Mongolia, which is like then seeing how, okay, this is the alternative way, like this is clearly non-European. Yeah, so I'd say those things. In terms of shaping my view of Europe, obviously Brexit is a massive moment, right? Because that sort of changes the sense of like, we're part of Europe, we're ever close to the union with Europe, and it's kind of, I'm very much European. I plan to live in Europe before Brexit happens. I have gone on to live in Europe after Brexit. So I think Brexit definitely impacted my view of Europe. Also because I lived in Munich last year, and so many people, when you meet them, they'll say things like, why does Britain not want to be in Europe, or something like that. Like a constant conflation of European Union with European, which I don't like as a thing that people do, but people do that constantly, and I do think that sort of then sort of really does sense of like, I don't know, I feel that's a sort of an othering experience for British people, I'd say. I feel Brexit makes me less European. To me, if I had just 3 words or 1 phrase to give, I'd say World War II, the Holocaust. I think that is recent history. My grandparents all lived through it, and I was in a concentration camp last year, and it's just like ridiculous, like how much worse it was than everything else that's happened in my lifetime. In terms of more recent stuff, because I suspect the question did not intend World War II. This is where my ignorance comes in. I don't know exactly what went on with Greece and the bailout and stuff. It seemed pretty bad at the time. People weren't happy. Brexit was incredibly bad. I think that there were many, many mistakes made all over the place with Brexit. So you'd have to pinpoint something there, or maybe just say Brexit. I mean, so for me, my level of knowledge about European history, I'm going to say the Good Friday Agreement. But I do think that I don't really consider that, even though it is a European event, I don't really consider that European, because I feel like so often when people talk about European events, they mean things to do with the European Union. And I feel like Good Friday Agreement is a British and Irish achievement. Freedom of movement by a country mile, because I lived in Austria, I lived in Germany. Yeah, I mean, it's not even close. The other things are so small in comparison, right? Something or anything to do with climate change, treaties, stuff that massively reduces our carbon emissions, something like that. The more they can do, the better. And I think it's the most important issue that it's responsible for, or partially responsible for, of course. Yeah, something to do with climate change.